play what I want, when I want, so we can have some fun. Rah! You have been looking for it, and now I'm going to show it to you. For all those people who grew up with the Nintendo 64 and the most badass wrestling games ever, and no, I'm not counting badass on this one, this is the game you are looking for. I grew up with WCW versus NWO, wrestling with my friends in their basement on the Nintendo 64. And that game was fun. It wasn't like just supposed to be what it is on TV. All those wrestling games nowadays, yeah, they're what it looks like on TV, but they suck. They're not fun. This game is fun. It's two-dimensional sprites, but it's so much fun. And it has so much freedom, it's ridiculous. Sorry, I'm getting excited and my microphone's like shuffling around because I have this cheap-ass headset. But I'm just going to show you a match. I mean, this isn't going to be a big, long video. I'll show you a match to show you all the freedom you have and just how fun it is. Like, I'll go to custom match. There's all these different setups for what you can do. You can create a title match. The one thing I would say that sucks about this game is there's no storyline whatsoever. You make your own story. You can set up a tournament, you can set up a league, you can do team matches, you can do battle royale, whatever. But the thing is if like you want it all to happen on one night of WrestleMania, you have to do it yourself. So you gotta have a little bit of creativity. You gotta open up your inner child there. If you go to exhibition, it's just one free match, but you have normal match, you have cage death match, you have barbed wire death match where all the ropes are barbed wire, you have landmine death match where everything outside of the ring is a table covered in barbed wire, and I'm pretty sure that the corners have like fluorescent light bulbs on them, so if you get shoved into the corner, there goes your back. And then these, I haven't really looked into these yet because honestly I'm not that curious about them, because a good chunk of this game is also a UFC and kickboxing game. So you get a wrestling game and you get a UFC or a Pride game in one. It's great. It's unbelievable. So I'm just going to go into the normal match, and within the match there are tons of options. You can do 3 count, you can do 2 count, fall only, so that's like a ring out. You can do give up. Now, here's a big thing about this game. The #1 motivation for buying this game is to be able to make your own wrestlers, and I'll show you that in just a second. But the thing is if you design your character and he doesn't have a submission move, well, that's going to be a long fight, buddy, because you're going to have to lose. And yeah, the computer's not just going to give up on their own unless you have a submission move. So there's a little bit of smart required for creating your character. Let's see. Over the rope. Blah, blah, blah. You can do more than one match, best of 3. You can choose your own ring, you can choose your own venue. Let's do the USA Dome. And the AWG ring. The AWG is like the American League. I'll show you that in just one sec. I'm going to leave the computer skill on 1 because I want to show you... Whoops. I want to show you just how cool, like all the different moves can be. Because I made my own character, and I'm pretty proud of that. But you can go all the way to 10, and the computer can be pretty difficult. Speed. You can pick your referee. How many other wrestling games are there where you can pick referees, you can make referees, and you can pick different skills for referees? For instance, this guy's the default. His name's Panther. He's supposed to represent like a big famous wrestling ref in some Japanese league, I think. But there are so many different ones, like Mr. Fair. There are female referees because there are female wrestlers, and then there are the ones that I kind of made. So I made Mr. Shorty Speedo. He's like the smallest referee that you can get, but he's also the fastest to call anything. The Wino, he's just the super slow, lazy, doesn't call anything. If you want to hit someone in the face with a bat covered in barbed wire, make him the referee. The Technic Kid, he's just by the books referee, and those are the three that I made. So I'm going to actually pick the default guy, Mr. Panther, because he's a good ref. It's a good pace for a match. It's not going to be like a 45-minute long match. Someone's going to either give up or get pinned. Let's see, and then there's all these options. Like, the only one I really know is the disqualifying count, which is either being outside of the ring for a certain amount of time or bringing a weapon into the ring for, I think it's 5 seconds. This one is just physically being able to go out of the ring, I think. And Tornado is if you're doing a tag team match or more than 2 people, all of them can be in the ring at one time, which is pretty awesome, but also pretty crazy. Background music, blah blah blah. There's actually, despite the corny stuff going on in the background right now, the music's actually pretty cool. And critical, we're just going to leave that as default. Now this is the fictional wrestling organization. This is the organization I made from scratch. But before we look at that, this is a list of all of them, and all of these wrestlers are available. I mean, these are big organizations in, I think, the Asian wrestling world, and it's pretty big over in Japan. I can't blame them. I mean, I grew up loving this stuff. And what makes this game cool is anything on these characters you can put on your character. Like, you can have the mask from that character, and that guy's shoes, and that guy's boxing gloves, and that guy's chubby belly, and things like that. Anything in this game you can put on your wrestlers. So let's go over, I think these are just free agents, so I'm not sure. Oh, whatever. But here, AWG are the American wrestlers, and, well, the thing is they don't have the license for any of them, so they kind of have to fudge it a little bit. Like, for instance, this guy's name is Giant Razumov, nicknamed The Mountain. And if you don't recognize that as Andre the Giant, well, then you're probably not going to recognize anybody else in this game. Now, I have a terrible memory problem. So looking through these, I'll only be able to recognize 1, 2, or 3 of them. And, like, all of these represent one American guy or the other. I'm pretty sure that these guys were called, like, the Warriors or something, and they were always a tag team group. Profile, member of a world-renowned tag team, going in between them. Or something, but they're both named like Undead Gladiator and Iron Gladiator. Let's see. Dr. Nuke. this guy, every time I go through this, I can't remember his name for the life of me. But just going over that wrestler and looking at him, I immediately recognize him. And I can't remember his freaking name. And there's someone that's going to leave a comment going, "You effing idiot. It's this, blah, blah, blah." And for the life of me, I can't remember. I think it's like something Hart or something like that. I can't remember, but he's in there. Then there's Sting. Sting's great. He's immediately recognizable, but notice he's called the Spike, nickname Silver Venom, but he's in here. So just like going down through the American roster, there's a ton of wrestlers in here, and you might recognize a couple of them instantly, but I mean, I can't like just pull all these out of my memory because I only paid attention to a couple of them whenever I was little. Like, unfortunately, Goldberg isn't in here, but he was like the one I liked as a kid. Maybe I'll make him and put him in my league. You got the Luchadors from Mexico. Unfortunately, I can't remember which one's Rey Mysterio because there's so many of them wearing crazy masks. Yeah. And here's where it gets into the UFC or Pride, because all of these are fighting class, and, you know, it's also a UFC Pride game, and that gets crazy. Female wrestlers, yep. I don't know these three, but I mean, this guy says he's the god of the Japanese wrestling world, so he must be pretty good. His winning streak will not be broken. I don't know how long his winning streak is. And the founder of Japan Pro Wrestling. So, I mean, those guys must be pretty good. Wow, I mean, this has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but someone just texted me saying, "Do you have Band-Aids?" Wrong number. But back to my organization, Fiction. This is me, Ao Unus, nickname Unbeatable. I created him from scratch. I can't remember what my nickname is. I mean, I created these guys like 2 months ago. And I forget what moves they are, and I forget how to do them. So we're just gonna have to experiment a little. Should be a little bit of fun. But that is me. It's the way I would fight. It's the way I would dress if I was a wrestler. Yeah, and naturally I gave myself the best belt until somebody takes it away from me up in there in the top right. Sorry for breathing into the microphone so much. I've got this cheap-ass headset, and I'm looking for a cheap microphone to replace this. But, moving on. This is my arch enemy, the Falcon Sacrilege. And I haven't really put that much work into him, because until, like, a couple days ago, it was just me, then Randy, and Insano, and I'll show you them. But I decided I need an arch enemy, and so I decided to give myself the Falcon. And I haven't really personalized him too much. I haven't customized all his moves. He has pretty default moves, pretty default stats. But I'm going to be customizing him even more in a second, because he's supposed to be my arch villain. Then, Randy the Ram Robinson. If you don't know who this is, then you suck. Because this is the guy from The Wrestler, and, you know, if you get a wrestling game where you get to make your own wrestlers, you have to put him in there. It's part of the culture. The coolest thing is that there's such a big list of moves in this game, It says his critical hit is the raw diving elbow drop. That's his signature move, but it's the Ram Jam. It is the Ram Jam. It takes a long time to use it because you got to beat the guy enough for him to stay on the ground, and then you got to go up into the corner, and then you got to do your super strong attack, I think it is. But the Ram Jam's in the game, so I made him the way he is in the movie. It's great. And then Captain Insano. If you ever watch The Waterboy, whenever he gets fired from his football team, God, man, I can hear myself breathing into the mic. But whenever he gets kicked off the team for being the water boy, he advertises his services to a professional wrestler called Captain Insano. And he's played by the Giant, not Andre the Giant, but the newer one. So I decided to make Captain Insano and put him in. And his nickname, or his critical hit, is the Insano Drano. So that's great. But I'm going to be me, because I'm unbeatable, I'm awesome, and I'm going to kick the living crap out of the Falcon, because I can. Yeah. Sorry, Falcon. This is just a necessary thing. Hopefully the intros will come up, because they're kind of cool. You get to design your own intro too. But sometimes there aren't intros because, like, you're in a backyard wrestling match or something like that. But you get to pick your own music, you get to pick your own moves, things like that. They're really nothing special. They're kind of repetitive after a while. But still, it's just another level of customization that makes this character yours. I spent hours on this character making sure that it is who I am. If I let the computer play it, it would play the way I would play, because you customize it down to how much the character would go for the win versus how much the character would want to entertain people. It's that customizable. Yeah, and this is just like the random default entrance. I didn't customize him that deep. But alright, let's do this. Mr. Falcon, Sacrilege, prepare to eat my fist. But there are 3 different attacks in this game. Oh, most important thing, what makes this game different than he's bleeding already. Oh man, I'm sorry. Wow, that was random. That makes it easier for me. Just keep hitting his head. But what makes this game special is that it's different than every other game, because it's not a button masher, it's a timing thing. For instance, we're circling each other because moves only work at a certain distance in a certain position. Like, I have to back up if I want to kick him in the chest, but I can't do it, and he was even too close for a jab. Things like that. And whenever you grapple, there. If you mash the buttons, you will lose the grapple, because if you hit your attack button twice, it will automatically disqualify you and let the other guy do his move. But I'm going to let him stand up right there is when you have to hit your move in order to do the attack. But there are 4 different attacks for each thing. You've got the regular button, you've got up, you've got sideways, and you've got down. Like, for me, the weak attack, and you've got 4 attacks, 3 of which have those different types. You have the weak, strong, and middle, and then you've got like this super attack that you can only do the super attack its own way. I'm going to try and get him stunned so that I can just sit here and describe things to you and execute them. So I'm going to focus on his head as much as possible. He's already bleeding. So yeah, there we go. He's crippled. I can do this now. I'm going to rest and get my stamina up. So I'm going to start grappling him, and up weak is that. Regular weak is a sucker punch. Sideways is a throw. Get him up. And down weak is just taking him to the ground like that. Now, the customization options in this game are so nuts that, I mean, it can be not fun to play if you screw up your character. For instance, if you press up and attack to pin him, that makes no sense. And so you'll be thinking about that during the game, you know, I want to pin this guy, it's got to be down. No, you assigned it to up. And so that's like the dumbest decision ever, and you're not going to have any fun. And I missed him. I pressed my super attack and I miss him. But I showed you all my weak attacks. So now I'm going to go to the middle ones now that I've got them a little warmed up. Plane is a headbutt. Up. Oh, he got me on that one. Wow. He out-timed me. Up. That was a counter. Up, finally, is up and over the shoulder. Sideways is the Irish whip. And down is a good old-fashioned pile driver. Then, my strong attack is a submission. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, okay, I thought that was over. It was a rope break. But regular plane attack is just rolling him into a submission chokehold like that. All of my strong attacks have the possibility to end the game, which I think is appropriate because you use them near the end of the game. Up is a choke slam, which does awesome damage. Sideways is throwing him over the shoulder like that. See, that's a sideways move, so I push sideways for it. It makes it a little more fun when it makes sense. And down, I forget what that is, but it's got a name for it. Then you have your super attack, which is hard to do. Like, I'm gonna get him stunned, and so I can have a better chance of doing it. There we go. Wait, wasn't that the same thing? Oh no. I'm gonna rest a little bit. Gotta get my stamina back up. So then you have the corner moves. You have grapple from the back. You have all these other options that I spent time to make this character mine in the character creation. So whenever I play as this character, it's so much more fun because it is me. Bam! Jump to pin. That is great. Now I'm going to drag him over here, pick him up, and let's see if my super attack from the corner... Oh, crap. There. Let's see if I pick him up. Let's see if I can do my super attack from here. Ah, man. I forget what my critical is. That sucks. Oops. Let's try just the plain strong attack. Okay, that's a ninja kick. Come on. There we go. I want to try the super strong, because... There we go. Yeah, that is my critical. I would definitely do that as my critical. Let's see if I can get him to give up. I'm going to choke you out, sacrilege. As blood is spewing across your face. Oh, you still don't want to give up. You've got spirit, I'll give you that. Oops. Ah. Oh, I forgot. I have a UFC move for this. I forgot I could do that. Oh, countering me, huh? How'd you like that? Alright. Whoops. Oh, coming back. God, I forget the timing. I haven't played this in so long. I'm ashamed of it. Ah. You know what? Whoops. 1, 2. Light bulb. I am going to make you give up. I am not going to pin you. For you and my arch enemy, the Falcon. Nope, not gonna pin you. Come on! That's it. Here comes the light bulb. Ah, I forget what range it has to be. Okay, I can always do this. I'll end up on YouTube. No break. Alright, I'm just gonna end this. It's getting a little long. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so hard to do it off the ropes if, like, he's not standing there dazed like this. Oh, he's even countering me. I did a little damage to myself. 1, 2. Ooh, getting a little nasty, huh? The only time that there's button mashing ever involved in this game is if you're the victim of a submission hold or the victim of a pin. And you, whoops, wrong way. And you have to, like, mash the X button in order to kick out of a pin, or you have to, like, swirl the direction pad in order to get out of submission. Okay, that's it. You're going down. Yeah. That's too long. The cool thing is it gives you a little extra time, so I never got to do my super special attack. It's just a roundhouse kick to the head. and that is Fire Pro Wrestling. So much fun. The customization is absolutely crazy. Like, I spent so much time customizing me and customizing the RAM that if I set the difficulty to maximum and I let those two go at it, it would be so much fun to watch, because the RAM kind of emphasizes entertainment and I kind of emphasize win at all costs, whether it's entertaining or not. So it should be interesting which one wins, because we're both about the same skill. You know, because naturally I am an unbelievable wrestler who's a legend. Yeah. I will be, you'll see. Well, if you liked it, hit the submission button. If you don't like it, you're probably not watching now anyway. Have a good one.